Hello, good morning. Hello.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
See, today, as I told, at the end of the class, we will be having a quiz, which contains 5 questions, and each questions will be carrying 2 marks. Okay, and beginning only, I'm telling nobody should type your USN number or message here at the chat box, because if you're having any doubt that regarding those things, you can chat, and I will clarify that. But regarding the attendance, USN number, no need to type in the chat box, because from today onwards, I'm going to conduct the quiz based on the quiz marks, as well as based on the attendance of the quiz. I will take the attendance. Is it clear? So the question will be asked, whatever the topics covered today, based on that only the quiz will be asked. So that will be easy for you to answer. Okay, so be concentrate towards the class. Okay, so that you can answer the quiz questions, whatever I given. Okay, now any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. So now today we'll go for the actual class of turbomission, where we are going to explain about the working principle, different parts of turbomission, as well as today we'll cover 3 topics in the syllabus. I am going to cover 3 topics today. That is, what you mean by the turbomission, and what are all the classification of turbomission, and different parts of turbomissions along with its application. And then the last topic I'm going to cover today is the difference between positive displacement machine and a turbo machine. Those 3 topics I'm going to cover today. Okay. For that, I'll present just a minute. I'll present now. I hope you all can see the screen now. So in this, okay. So turbo machine, where the subject code is 18ME54. I'm the course coordinator for that subject. And then these are all the course outcome. Course outcome of the subject is this. As I told you, last class I told that in the next class I will tell the course outcome. So that please have a look of this course outcome. And then I'm going to cover these topics, these course outcome by using this course. Okay. That is, course outcome is Course outcome 1 is thoroughly understand the principle and application of dimension analysis to compare homologous turbo machines using unit and specific quantities. Application of thermodynamics, the general velocity triangles. That comes under the CO1. And course outcome 2 is explain the working principle of various types of power generating machines, that is hydraulic, steam turbines, and know their applications range. And third CO is perform the design of turbo machine using various design parameters for pump, compressor, blowers, and know their application range. And the fourth one is extra activity, what we are going to do in the class. That is, able to solve the complex problem by using related to the turbo machine subject by using a flip class quiz. That is, every day I'm going to do the quiz. Based on that, this course outcome 4 will satisfy. Partial delivery course, model demonstration, virtual lab experiments. By using those tools, I'm going to cover CO4. Okay. Here the syllabus 1, and hence I'm going to cover only the first module right now. I have taken the syllabus of first module. So syllabus of the first module. In that, first chapter is introduction. Introduction, that is definition of turbo machine, I'll do. Parts of turbo machine, I'll do that. And comparison with the positive displacement machine and turbo machine. So these 3 along with the classification of turbo machines. These 3 topics I'm going to cover in today's class. Okay. Next, coming to the module 1, that is introduction to turbo machines. What do you mean by the turbo machine? A turbo machine is a device in which energy transfer takes place. Understand the word here. Each and every word what I'm going to tell, it is very, very important for attaining the quiz. And the quiz questions what I taken are all from the earlier GATE question papers. Earlier GATE question papers only I have taken the quiz questions. so that if you prepare for the quiz, it will be easy for any competitive exams at the end. Okay, so concentrate on the quiz, and then to attend the quiz properly, you have to listen to the class, each and every word. Okay, see here. A turbo machine is a device, that means it is a device in which the energy transfer takes place. See what will happen in the turbo machine? In the turbo machine, energy transfer takes place between which and which? Between a flowing fluid and a rotating element. That means if there is any rotating element and the fluid is flowing over the rotating element, then what will happen? Energy transfer takes place. That machine is called as a turbo machine. So another way, a turbo machine is a device in which energy transfer takes place between the flowing fluid and the rotating element due to the dynamic action. Due to the dynamic action, and results in the change in pressure and momentum of the fluid. So if you refer the textbook or if you refer the Google, you'll get hundreds of definitions for turbo machine, where this suits particularly entirely for your syllabus, whatever it is there, everything I have covered in this, so that you can pick up this as a definition for turbo machine. You can write. A turbo machine is a device in which energy transfer takes place between a flowing fluid and a rotating element due to the dynamic action, and results in the change in momentum and pressure of the fluid. Just a minute, be online. Okay, next. So this is the definition of turbo machine. So next is where it is used. The turbo machines are used in several applications, that is primary ones being electric power generation. So don't think that turbo machine is only a turbine. It is used in many applications where you see here power generation, aircraft propulsion, and vehicle propulsion for a civilian and military use. So wherever the fluid is flowing over the rotating element, those machines are called as turbo machine. For example, you take a fan. A fan is not a power generating machine. What will happen? You will supply the power for that, electricity for that, it will start rotating. So there, the shaft is rotated or the blades are rotated and the fluid is flowing over the blades. So again, that comes under the heading of turbo machines. What is the definition of turbo machine? Energy transfer takes place between the fluid and the rotating element. What is a fluid in the fan? Fluid used in the fan is just air. Air is the fluid and rotating element is the blades. So that fans comes under turbo machine. Then coming for the pump. If you use a pump, the centrifugal pump always, it will be in the motion of rotary motion. So there is a rotating element and flowing fluid. What is the flowing fluid in the centrifugal pump? The flowing fluid in the centrifugal pump is water. That means water is a fluid and rotating element is the blades of the pump. So that pump is also comes under the heading of turbo machine. Then coming for the hydraulic turbine. If it is a hydraulic turbine, the water is allowed to flow from the dam to the turbine. So the working fluid is the water and rotating element. If I allow the water to flow over the turbine, what will happen? The shaft, the blades will start rotating. That means there will be a rotating element. So again, the hydraulic turbine is considered as a turbo machine. Like that, any rotating element, you take any rotating element and any fluid which is interacting with that rotating element can be considered as turbo machine. So anybody name any one other than these two, other than pump, hydraulic turbine and a fan? Anyone? Other example can you give? So very simple concept is there should be a rotary motion. Because of that rotary motion, there should be air or water or a steam or any fluid should be should be flowing. So that machine is called as turbo machine. Have you gone through the windmill? Have you seen windmill anywhere? Windmill, what will happen? The air is flowing over the wind blades, so that because of movement of the air or flowing of the air, the blade starts rotating. So again, the fluid is here and rotating blade. So these two, if it is satisfied, definitely we can put under a turbo machine. So you take any machine which having an interaction of the fluid and it should be rotary motion. Those machines are called as turbo machine. Is it clear? Many students, what they will take? Turbo machine means only turbines. No, it is not like that. Turbo machine may be of power generating machine as well as power absorbing machines. I'll come to that later. What is that? Next, the units used in the power generation are steam, gas, and hydraulic turbines, ranging in the capacity few kilowatts to several hundred and thousands megawatts. That means There is no range. Just in the definition, what it is telling only the working fluid should be any working fluid should be either it may be air, water, steam, gas, anything, and it should be rotating. But there is nowhere it is told about the capacity. It may be from few kilowatts to 1000 megawatts. No issue. We are not bothering about how much it is producing or how much it is consuming. We are only bothered about working fluid as well as a rotating element to call it as a turbo machine. So this is the broad explanation of the turbo machine. And this is the part of the turbo machine. See, this is the part of a turbo machine where what did I told? There is an inlet for the turbo machine and there is an exit for the turbo machine. So what it is flowing from the inlet, you allow the water to flow, or you allow the air to flow, or you allow the gas to flow, any fluid. So assume that you are going to flow the fluid here. So once you allow the fluid to flow through the inlet, what will happen? It will start flowing over this blades. What is this called? These blades are called as rotary blades. Through the rotary blades, it will flow. So because of the air which is inlet, what will happen? This blade starts rotating. This blade starts rotating. See, the turbo machine condition satisfies. How? The working fluid is air or water or a gas, stream, any fluid. Because of that, there is a rotary motion. So if I see these two, I can tell it is a turbo machine. Is it clear? So once the fluid is flowing over the blade starts rotating. After rotating, the fluid has to go out. So to take its path, what will happen? It will pass through the stator blades. This stator blades is fixed for the outer casing. This is called as casing. This is called as a casing, or the other name for the casing is called as the stator. This is called as a stator blade, which is fixed. It will not rotate. It is fixed for the stator, or it is called as a casing. What is the function of the stator blade? The function of the stator blade is only to guide the fluid which is entering and which is doing its work, and it has to go out. No? So to get exit, it will guide. That means it will show the path. It has to flow in this path only. So that is the function of the stator blades. The other name for stator blades is guide blades. Other name for stator blade is guide blade, and it is always fixed or attached to the casing. The other name for casing is stator. So that means this stator blade is not going to rotate. Only the rotary blade will be rotating. And after showing the path for the fluid will get exit. So this is the movement of the fluid where it will inlet. The fluid will get inlet from the inlet channel. Then it will rotate the blades. Then with the help of a stator, it will take its path where it has to move. It will show the path. Sorry, just a minute. It will show the path. Then it will do its work and it will go out from the casing or from the entire turbo machine at the exit. So because of the rotation of the blades, what will happen? The shaft attached to the rotor, it will also start rotating. So once it is rotated, if I put a generator here, it will generate an electricity. Clear? So this kind of a machine is called as a turbo machine, where you can call it as basic parts of a turbo machine or principal components of turbo machine. In exam, he will ask with a neat figure, explain the principal parts of turbo machine in detail. Like that he'll ask. That means you have to draw the figure. You should understand the fluid is entering here. Because of the entry of the fluid, the rotor will start rotating. After rotating, the fluid has to go out. No? So because of that, it will take the help of stator. This stator blades, or it is also called as guide blades. The function of a guide blade is just to show the path for the fluid. It will show the path, then the fluid will get out from the turbo machine. Here, what are the different parts? The different parts is inlet, rotor blades. This is called as a stator or casing, and this is called as a stator blade or the fixed blade and the shaft. Okay, there are 4 different parts in the turbo machine. That is rotor blades, stator, and stator blades. Okay, I hope you understood what is the construction, how it is constructed. Now, as I told, this can be the turbo machine definition holds good for fan also, correct? For fan also, turbo machine definition holds good because the working fluid is an air and there is a rotating blades. So those two are there. In the fan, have you seen anywhere the stator blade and the casing? Have anybody seen the casing for the fan? No, you have not seen the casing for the fan, correct? So how it will work? The fan, how it will work? The direction of the fluid will change in this case. We will supply the power for the shaft. Because if I supply the power for the shaft, what will happen? This blade will rotate. This blade will rotate. Because of the rotation of the blade, the air, it will throw the air. High pressure air, it will throw outside. Correct? We can draw that figure also. We can draw the figure of fan also for turbo machine, because as I told, the major parts of turbo machines are these things, but in that very important parts are rotor and the rotating fluid. If you include the rotor and rotating fluid, then that is enough to tell it as a turbo machine. So what you understood by this example, by giving a fan example, you understood that very important part for any of a turbo machine is the working fluid and a rotor and a rotating blade and shaft. These three are the very important parts of any turbo machine. It is a mandatory part. Instead of telling important part, I will tell it as it is a mandatory part. And this stator and casing, these two are not a mandatory part. What is the reason? Because based on the application, I can remove the fixed blade, I can remove the stator or a casing. See how fans are working. Without, there is no casing for the fan, there is no fixed blade for the fan, even though we are going to call it as a turbo machine. So that we can tell that the rotor and the shaft are a mandatory part along with the rotor blades. These three are the mandatory part for turbo machine, and not mandatory part are stator blade or a fixed blade, stator or casing. Clear? That I will explain in detail in the next slide. See here. Rotor. These are all the three important parts we have taken. Rotor, it is a rotating element carrying the rotor blades. In sometimes it is also called as vanes. These rotor blades are also called as vanes. Okay. Then rotor is also named by a runner, impeller, etc. That means the other name for the rotors are vanes, runner, impeller. We may ask in the quiz also, what are all the other names for the runner blades? The runner blades or rotor blades. Other names are vanes, runner, impellers. Remember. Next. That depends upon the particular machine. When we will call it as a blades, when we will call it as a buckets, when we will call it as a impeller, that depends upon a machine. For example, if it is a fan, what we will call? We will call it as a blade. If it is a windmill, we will call it as the blades of windmill. If it is a turbine, we will call it as a buckets. Like that. Depending upon that particular machine, we will name whether it is a blade, vanes, impeller or runner. But the function of all these are same. Once the fluid is entering, it will start rotating. That is a function of rotor blades, vanes, runner or impeller. But depending upon the particular machine, we will classify that as vanes. We will classify the blades. We will classify the same blades as impeller, like that. We'll give different namings. That's all. Here the energy transfer occurs between the flowing fluid and the rotating element due to the momentum change between the two. So this is a mandatory part. Remember, the rotor and the rotor blades are a mandatory part for any turbo machine. Then coming to the stator. Stator, the other name for stator is the casing. Other name for stator is casing. It is a stationary element carrying the guide vanes or a stator blades. So this casing carries the guide blades or a stator blades. The stator blades are also known as guide blades, nozzle, depending upon the particular machine or a particular application. These blades usually control the direction of the fluid flow during the energy conversion process. Just what is the function of the guided stator blades? Just to control or direct the fluid flow. Means it show the path for the fluid where to flow. But this is not a mandatory part. Remember, the stator is not a mandatory part, or a casing is not a mandatory part. Then coming to the shaft. The shaft is used to transmit the power into the machine or out of the machine, depending upon the particular machine. For example, here is very important. For power generating machine, it may call as output shaft, and for power absorbing machine, it may call as input shaft. So what do you mean by power generating machine and power absorbing machine? So this power generating machine means the machine or a turbo machine which generates the power. For example, we can call it as hydraulic turbine, steam turbine, gas turbine. All these are power generating machines. In all these three, there is a rotating element and there is a fluid interaction. But the fluids are different. It may be water, it may be gas, it may be steam. Correct? So we are going to name it as power generating machine. And what do you mean by power absorbing machine? Power absorbing machine means which is going to absorb the electricity to do some function. For example, a fan. The fan, what it is going to do? It is going to absorb the power. Then it will rotate. Because of the rotation, it will throw the air with a high pressure. You take other example as a pump. What is the function of a pump? if you supply the electricity for the pump, it will start rotating. Because of the rotating, it will start lifting the water. So those comes under power absorbing machine. Can anybody tell where the wind will fit? Whether it will fit in power absorbing machine or whether it will fit in power generating machine? Wind will. Very good. Wind will fit for the power generating machine. Okay. And centrifugal compressor. Can anybody tell? Centrifugal compressor. Anyone can tell where we are going to fit the centrifugal compressor, whether under power generating or power absorbing?
Absorbing.
Very good. Power absorbing, because if you supply the power, then only the shaft rotates and it will compress the air. It will become a centrifugal compressor. Like that, you can give the application based on power generating or power absorbing. So in the power absorbing, the shaft, name for the shaft, we are going to call it as input shaft. Why it is called as input shaft? Because the power is given to the machine, or power is input for the machine by the help of the shaft. So the same shaft name is input shaft. And in power generating, we are taking out the electricity, so it is called as output shaft. Same in both the cases, you cannot differentiate between the shaft by seeing that, because in both the cases the shaft is a round part. But depending upon the working, we are going to name it as input and output shaft. Is it clear? So again, I'll refresh. These are all the different parts of any turbo machine. In that, the mandatory parts are rotor blades, and shaft. And the non-mandatory parts are stator blades or a fixed blades, casing or stator. That means the other name for stator is casing, other name for stator blade is fixed blade. These two are not a mandatory part. But in some application, those two are mandatory. In which application they are mandatory? For example, you take a hydraulic turbine. The water is, if I allow the water to flow through this, with a high velocity, water will enter to the inlet. So once it is entering, if it is hitting to the blades, if there is no casing, what will happen? Can you tell? Can you imagine what will happen? If I allow the high velocity water to flow through the blades, and if there is no stator or a casing, what will happen? The water may splash around here. So to avoid that, the casings are used. In the application of hydraulic turbines, casings are mandatory. Clear? So depending upon the machines or depending upon the application, these casings are not mandatory in all the cases. So which is the mandatory for all the turbo machine? Mandatory parts are rotor, shaft and rotor blades. Which is not mandatory part are stator blades and the stator, or it is also called as casing. Next. Coming to the classification of turbo machine. How the turbo machines are classified? The turbo machines are broadly classified into power generating and power absorbing and power transmitting turbo machines. There are three types of turbo machines. I have given only example for power generating and power absorbing. For power transmitting turbo machine, I'll explain. See, coming for this power generating turbo machine, how it will work, how it is classified. It is one which converts the fluid energy in the form of kinetic energy or pressure energy into mechanical energy. That means the energy of the fluid will be low at the inlet, high at the inlet. Because of that higher energy of the fluid, we are going to take out the mechanical energy or electrical energy with the help of power generating machines. That means you take a turbine. The inlet velocity of the water is very, very huge. That kinetic energy of the water, we are going to convert that to mechanical energy. So that is called as power generating machine. Coming to the power absorbing turbo machine, it is one in which converts the mechanical energy into fluid energy. That means, for example, a fan. What will happen? If I supply the electricity for that, the shaft will rotate. That means the mechanical energy, we are giving input for the machine. With the help of that mechanical energy, it is going to generate the high pressure fluid. Correct? So that is the meaning of power absorbing turbo machine. Then coming for power transmitting machines, it is one of the machine in which used to transmit from one driving shaft to the other driven shaft with the help of the fluid. For example, torque converter. Just it is going to convert, or it is going to transfer the fluid from one shaft to the other shaft with the help of the fluid. So this we are going to see the maximum application of power transmitting turbo machine in automobiles. In automobiles, we will see this power transmitting turbo machine where the gearbox and all, or what we'll call the rear wheel drive. Those things are works under the power transmitting machines. Just it is not going to generate, it is not going to absorb the power. Just what it will do, that power transmission setup at the automobile, just it will transmit the power from the propeller shaft to the wheels. So that is the application of power transmitting machines. But nowhere we'll use further this power transmitting machine in this subject. Only for the classification purpose we will put here. But throughout the subject, we are going to study only the power generating turbo machine and power absorbing turbo machine. Okay. Again, further classification. Again, the power generating and power absorbing turbo machines are classified into direction of the fluid. So that means how the fluid is flowing: axial flow, radial flow, and mixed flow. Just you remember the words axial flow, radial flow, and mixed flow. We will go in depth how the axial flow looks like, how the radial flow looks like, and how the mixed flow looks like when you go for the chapters. Done. So this is today we covered the introduction for turbo machine, different parts of turbo machine, and importance of the turbo machine along with the explanation of the parts, classification of turbo machine. Now I'll go for the difference between positive displacement machine and turbo machine. So before going for that, if anybody having a doubt, you please ask me. If anybody having a doubts regarding the turbo machines or the topic still whatever I covered, you can ask me. Anybody having doubts? Okay. I hope, okay. Shall I proceed now for the next topic? This positive displacement machine. What the difference between the positive displacement and turbo machines? There are huge. There are many differences. So I'll take this into two classes. So first, in the today's class, I'll explain the few differences. Later on, I'll explain the further differences. Okay. See now. The difference between positive displacement machines and turbo machines are. You understood about the turbo machines, right? If you want to call it as a turbo machine, there should be a fluid interacting and there should be a rotary motion. That is called as turbo machine. So now what do you mean by the positive displacement machine? This positive displacement machine means there also the fluid interaction will be there. The fluid interaction will be there in positive displacement machine also. But there will be no rotary motion. There will be a reciprocatory motion. Remember, in positive displacement machine, in most of the application, there will be reciprocatory motion and the fluid interaction will be there. But here, in all the cases, there will be a rotary motion and the fluid will be there. Here, the fluid will be there and there will be a reciprocatory motion in most of the cases. In some cases, there is a rotary motion also in positive displacement machine. I will tell how to adjust, how to identify that. But remember, positive displacement machine, in most of the cases, there will be a reciprocatory motion. Okay. So coming for that, see modes. These two are classified or differentiated with the help of these modes. That is, first mode is based on the action. So what is the action in turbo machine? Means how the shaft, what is the action you can see, whether rotary, oscillating or reciprocating. In turbo machine, it is rotary. In positive displacement machine, it will be reciprocating. So that means based on the reciprocating motion or a oscillating motion or a rotary motion, we are going to call it as, we are going to put under positive displacement or a turbo machine. We'll see now. It creates a thermodynamic and mechanical action between the nearly static fluid and relatively slow moving surface. Here, it creates a thermodynamic and dynamic interaction. See this. It creates a thermodynamics and mechanical action between the nearly static fluid, but here dynamic interaction between the flowing fluid and rotating element. Here, reciprocating element. Next, it involves a change in volume or displacement of the fluid. Here, it involves the change in pressure and momentum of the fluid. These 2 points are very, very important. Second point, it involves the change in volume or displacement of the fluid. That means how you take a best example of a centrifugal pump and a reciprocating pump. One side you put a centrifugal pump, other side you put as a reciprocating pump. In both the cases, what is the working fluid? If it is a pump, it is a water is a working fluid, correct? So let us put here a reciprocating pump and here we'll put as centrifugal. In both the cases, water is the working medium. But here to work as a to run the work, to run the machine, we are going to rotate the shaft. Here to run the machine, we are going to reciprocate the pistons. So that is a motion difference between the motion. And here, if the piston is reciprocating within the cylinder in and out, what will happen? The volume of the piston changes. The volume of the cylinder changes, correct? Inside the cylinder, whatever the volume is there, that will vary be depending upon the movement of the piston. But here, because of the rotary motion, there is no change in the volume. but there is a change in the pressure. Here there is a change in the volume. Here there is a change in the pressure, as well as change in the pressure here also, because of the reciprocatory motion. I hope you can understand. If there is a piston and cylinder arrangement, if the piston starts reciprocating inside the cylinder slowly, what will happen? There is a change in the volume as well as the pressure. Here there is a change in only the pressure in the turbo machine. There is no change in the volume. These two are very important points. Next, there is a positive confinement of the fluid in the system. That means if you want to tell it as a reciprocatory motion, there should be a cylinder. It is a mandatory part. But here, there is no positive confinement of a fluid at any point in the system. For example, for a fan, what is the function of a fan? The function of a fan is to push the air with a high pressure. That will do without the casing also. But here, if I want to push the air with a high pressure, casing is mandatory part for a positive displacement machine. So these three are the important classification or differences between the positive displacement and turbo machine under the heading of action. Similarly, under the heading of operation, so I'll wind up this under the heading of operation and mechanical features today. Okay. Under the heading of operations, it involves a reciprocatory motion of the mechanical component and unsteady fluid of the fluid. But some rotary positive displacement machines are also built, for example, gear pump, vane pump, and vane compressor. These are all rotary motions. These are all rotary motions. Even though they are rotary motions, they are going to call it as a positive displacement machine. I will tell what is the reason when you go for the chapters. Okay. So, but now you understand it involves maximum reciprocatory motion only. And here, it involves purely rotary motion of the mechanical element and steady flow of the fluid. It may also involve unsteady flow of the fluid in a short period of time, especially while starting and stopping during the change of the load. Example for this is turbine, centrifugal compressor, and a pump. Any doubts in the operation? Any doubts under the heading of operation?
No, sir.
Okay. Shall I proceed further? Then the last classification for today's class is mechanical features. Based on mechanical features, how the positive displacement and turbo machines are classified. This is positive displacement. No, so see here. Because of the reciprocatory masses, vibrations are more, hence low speeds are adopted. See, wherever there is, that is a common sense. Wherever the reciprocatory motions are there, we will be having more vibrations. Means there will be more vibration in the parts, and hence we cannot achieve the higher speeds. So lower speeds are achieved. Other side, the rotating masses can be completely balanced and vibrations can be eliminated completely. Because of rotary, there will be no vibrations at all. It can be eliminated. Hence, higher speed can be adopted. Higher speeds can be adopted for turbo machines. Next, heavier foundations are required. Can anybody tell why heavier foundations are required for positive displacement machine? Because it is a reciprocating. Wherever the reciprocating comes into picture, we want heavier foundation. If there is no proper foundation, the entire arrangement or entire setup may go damaged. So because of that, heavier foundation is required. Other side, a lighter foundation is sufficient. We want enough, lighter foundation is enough because of complete balance. Next, mechanical design is complex because of valves. Here, the design is simple. Mechanical design is complex because of valves. Here, the design is simple. And weight per unit output is more. Weight of the machine is more here. Weight of the machine is less. And this are all I'll cover in the next class. Or else briefly I'll explain. In the next class, I'll go in detail. Okay. See, efficiency of the conversion process. Higher efficiency because of static energy in the positive. In turbo machine, efficiency is low because of dynamic energy transfer. Remember, if there is any dynamic energy transfer, efficiency is low. If there is any static energy transfer, efficiency is higher. Then, the efficiency for compression and expansion process are almost same. On the other side, the efficiency of compression process is low. Next here. Coming to the volumetric efficiency. See the difference between efficiency of conversion and volumetric efficiency. Here, coming to the efficiency, higher efficiency I can obtain with the reciprocatory motion because of static efficiency, static energy transfer. But here, volumetric efficiency, if I come into picture, much lower, much below that of turbo machine because of valves. Because of the presence of the valves, volumetric efficiency will be less. Here it is almost 100%. Don't get confused with the efficiency of conversion process and volumetric efficiency. Efficiency of the conversion process is higher in positive displacement and lower in turbo machine. It will become reverse coming to the volumetric efficiency rating. If it is volumetric efficiency, lower efficiency here because of walls, higher efficiency because of absence of walls. Higher means how much? It is almost reaching to 100%. Okay, done. A lower fluid handling capacity, here higher fluid handling capacity. Then fluid phase change and surging. That means if the fluid is flowing inside the turbo machine, there is no serious problem of encountered in the positive displacement machine. But very important points these three are. Because of the flowing of the fluid through the turbo machine, it may causes the cavitation of the pump or a turbines. Therefore, it leads to erosion of the blades or the corrosion of the blades. Very important point is this. Okay, because of the under the heading of fluid phase change or a surging, there is no problem encountered in positive displacement machine, but there is a serious problem of cavitation. Because of the cavitation, the blades surface may get rough, or it is also called as eroded surface of the blades, and there is a problem of surging, and also occurs the vibration that may disturb. Because of the surging, there may be a vibration in the longer duration. If I use the turbo machine for a longer number of hours, there may be a problem of surging, or there may be a problem of corrosion or erosion. These factors deteriorate the performance of the machine. The turbo machine in the new at the beginning, or else a new machine, they will be having 100% efficiency. As it is working further, there because of the surface roughness of the blades, the efficiency reduces for the turbo machine as it is work for n number of durations. Any doubts? Sorry. Any doubts under the heading of positive displacement and a turbo machine?
No, sir.
Roughly, I'll brush up under the action. Under the action, yeah.
So cavitation means air bubbles being produced because of low pressure because
Very
of
good.
the pump.
Very good.
But how does it destroy the blades, sir?
I'll tell. See, cavitation means in the pump, it will generate, that you know. Because of the lower pressure of the fluid which is flowing, the bubbles will form. Because of that bubble formation, what will happen? Sometimes that bubbles may entrap within the pump on the blade surface. It will retain there only. It will not flow outside because of the shape of the blade. The bubble may entrap within the blades only. If it is entrapped, then what will happen? At some particular duration, the bubble formation will goes on increasing. As it is increased, it will burst. It will burst on the blade surface only. Once it is bursted, what will happen? The surface of the blade may have a chance of removal of the surface. That means if there is a painted surface, if the bubble is formed at burst, then what will happen? The paint in the first bursting, the paint may come out. In the second bursting, the surface coating may come out. Like that, if number of bursting happens on the same place of the blade, then what will happen? There may be a chances of surface removal of the blades. Because of the surface removal, what will happen? There may be chances of erosion or a corrosion of the blades. So because of it, whenever the cavitation created, there may be a chances of erosion of the blades.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? Yes, anybody having any doubts? I'll stop sharing the screen.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Be online, just a minute. So somebody has messaged, I'll check out what is the. I told no. See, even though you put a message or give us in a chat box, I will not consider as an assignment. So now I will give you the quiz. Based those who are attending the quiz and those who are taking a quiz, based on the quiz only, I'm going to consider as an assignment. Attendance. Attendance is considered only based on the quiz. Is it clear? And if you want to attend the quiz, you should listen for the class, because each and every point in the class is important. So from now, 10 minutes I'll give for the quiz, and I'll end up the quiz after 10 minutes. Now the time is 9:20 maximum. Today is the first class. I'll give the time for the quiz as 9:35. Maximum 9:35. You can end up the quiz. Okay. That quiz link will be sent to the Google Classroom. Open to the Google. Go to the Google Classroom. Attend the quiz. Complete the quiz within allotted time. Okay, and then you can switch over for the next class. Thank you. Go for the Google Classroom. So there you can find out the quiz. Today's quiz is given in the Google Classroom. You can go there. Every day, I'll conduct a quiz using a Google Classroom only. Okay.
So are you going to conduct it exactly at 9:20?
9:20? No, you can start now. No issue.
Like it isn't there in the Google Classroom.
It's not there.
Quiz is not there, sir.
Yeah, just a minute. I think probably it is uploading. Check it now. Can you see?
Yes, sir, it's there now.
Yeah, you can see. See the instruction. Attendance will be considered based on the attendance of the quiz. That's all. And assignment marks will be based on quiz marks. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Attend the quiz and submit fast. Anybody opened the quiz?
Yes, sir.
Can you see?
Yes,
What
sir.
you can see there? Student name, USN, and 5 questions, right?
Yes,
Each
sir.
question carries 2
Sir.
marks. Yeah.
Sir, even though I've joined through official email ID, it's coming, you need permission.
I think probably you're not joined for the Google Classroom, so it is not showing, correct?
I've joined, sir. I joined the day you showed only. I accessed the quiz. When I
Just I'll
pressed
check
it,
out.
it's
Wait,
giving me
just I'll check
permission.
out. Just I'll see. What's your name?
Abhishek Narayana Hanur.
Abhishek Narayana. I cannot see your name in the Google Classroom. Abhishek
But I accessed
Narayana.
the
Yeah,
quiz.
it is there. Wait, just a minute. For others also, it is asking a permission. It is asking the same way. For others, okay.
Not me.
Abhishek, you sent the request so that
What should I do?
you click on give access the permission so that I'll get a mail.
Okay, yes, sir.
See, from tomorrow, nobody should put a message in the chat box regarding the USN number and name. Only you should put a chat box. Use the chat box only for the communication. If you are having any doubts, okay. Every day I'll take a quiz.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So some of the questions are having multiple correct answers.
Yes. Multiple correct answers also
But
given.
we
You can
cannot
do that.
select all the answers, no, sir? We can just
So that
select only
means-
one answer at the moment.
No, you can. I given the permission. No.
No, sir. You're not given check boxes. You're given radio
Yes, sir.
buttons.
Actually, we can only select one option at a time.
Oh, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You select that one option. I'll edit it.
Oh, okay, sir.
Just timing I'll edit. Yeah, what I need to do there for editing? Hello?
So you need to enable multiple correct answers for the question.
Yeah, check boxes. No, check boxes I had to do. By
Yes.
mistake, I left out. Just a minute. I'll do that.
I got it, sir.
Yeah. Now you
I
check.
could access it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Others? I have activated it as a checkbox. Can you see? As a checkbox only? Or
Yes, yes.
okay.
Yes, sir.
After refreshing. Yes, sir. We need to refresh the page once.
Yeah, please refresh the page. Then you can do that. Anybody finished? In that quiz also, if anybody having doubt, you can ask me later in the next class, or you can ask me personally, no issue. And all the questions what I gave in that quiz, it is covered in today's class, no? Out of 61, only 42 students are registered for the class. Others register for the class.
No, sir,
Inform
few
others to
left
register.
now. There were like
Okay.
50 something.
Okay. We'll see. Anyhow, I'll take the attendance through the quiz, no? Okay, fine. After doing the quiz, you can attend for the next class. Now I'll wind up this class. Okay, thank you all. You can leave the class of Turbo Machine.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.